Hello and a very good evening. You're watching this newscast on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Prime Minister inaugurates first PIO parliamentarian conference in New Delhi. Hailing delegates as India's permanent ambassadors, he asked them to invest in India and act as a catalyst in the country's growth. Supreme Court makes playing of national anthem in cinema halls optional, says Centre's 12-member interministerial committee will take final call on the issue. Security forces gunned down 2 terrorists in an encounter in Anantnag, also arrest 11 Hizbul terrorists in Sopore, recovering huge cache of arms and ammunition from them. Relief for Indian techies in the US as America refutes reports of policy change in H-1B visa rules, says a change of rules refusing extension of visa was never under consideration. And after a successful round of talks, North Korea agrees to send athletes to February's Winter Olympics in the South. Seoul proposes that athletes from the 2 Koreas march together at the opening ceremony. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first PIO parliamentarian conference in New Delhi today. Welcoming the delegates, the Prime Minister hailed them as India's permanent ambassadors abroad. He called them India's partners in development as the laurels they earned in their Karma Bhumi reflects favourably on their motherland.
Reform.
Come invest in India and act as a catalyst in the country's growth. That was the message Prime Minister Narendra Modi had for the hundreds of PIO parliamentarians who came from across the globe to be part of the first PIO parliamentarian conference in New Delhi. He dubbed the Indian diaspora as the country's permanent ambassadors, saying they helped further ties and improve relations with the nations they were residing in.
भारत की विकास यात्रा में हाथ बटाने के लिए प्रवासी भारतीयों के सामने कई एवेन्यूज है। पूरे विश्व में प्रवासी रेमिटेंसेस का सबसे बड़ा रेसिपिएंट भारत है। भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था में इस महत्वपूर्ण योगदान के लिए हम विदेश में रहकर भारतीय के जो विदेश में रह रहे हमारे भारतीय हैं, हम उनके ऋणी हैं।
The Prime Minister said that in the last few years, India's polity and economy have witnessed an irreversible change, which has led to greater focus on the country as well as a shift in the outlook of the world towards India. In his speech, the Prime Minister also asserted that India does not eye anyone's territory and resources, saying its model of development aid was not based on give and take. His comments come amid increasing Chinese efforts to expand its influence in the subcontinent.
हमने किसी भी देश के प्रति अपनी नीति को फायदे नुकसान के तराजू पर नहीं तोला है, बल्कि उसे मानवीय मूल्यों के प्रिज्म से देखा है। हमारा डेवलपमेंट एड देने का मॉडल भी गिव एंड टेक पर आधारित नहीं है, बल्कि यह उन देशों की आवश्यकताओं और प्राथमिकताओं पर निर्भर करता है।
Prime Minister Modi also urged the PIOs to spread India's message of inclusive philosophy, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. He also appreciated External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's efforts in making the Foreign Ministry more open and accessible, especially lauding her personal outreach to all those who petitioned her for help on Twitter. The External Affairs Minister credited the Prime Minister for the transformation in the country's governance and its rising stature globally.
भारत ग्लोबल एजेंडा तय करने वाला एक देश बना हुआ है। G20 में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जाते हैं तो ब्लैक मनी को सेंटर स्टेज पर लेकर आते हैं और केवल कहकर नहीं चले आते, घर में वापस लौटने के बाद डिमोनेटाइजेशन और जीएसटी जैसे साहसिक निर्णय करके विश्व को दिखाते हैं कि हम जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं।
Every year, 9th of January is celebrated as Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, an annual event to celebrate the contribution of overseas persons of Indian origin towards their homeland. This was the first PIO Parliamentarian Conference. It was attended by 134 elected representatives from 24 countries, including France, Fiji, Switzerland and Mauritius. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu is delivering the valedictory address at the PIO Parliamentarians Conference. Let's listen in.
As you know, country of our ancestral roots is the largest democracy in the world, and we feel proud of the same. It's a wonderful feeling that PIOs, lawmakers across the continents are here today with us. India has the second largest diaspora in the world, estimated at over 31 million, 3.1 crores spread across the globe, whose ancestral roots can be traced to trades, indentured laborers, political devotees, business entrepreneurs, among others. Far away from their homes, our Garmatiya brothers and sisters underwent a prolonged period of trial and turbulations. Indignities and physical and mental sufferings, long journeys in ships were extremely difficult and painful. Despite all these sufferings and challenges, the evolution of diaspora is really remarkable. Today, there is not a patch of foreign land which is not inhabited by an Indian and grows with traces and influence of our multi-layered culture. We are proud of our rich diaspora, spread over many countries and across continents. We stand out for their innate ability to assimilate and yet maintain their distinct identity. Overseas Indians are not just content with the tried and tested professions and vocations. Many of them have successfully carved out a career in politics, government and diplomacy. Many countries such as Mauritius, Fiji, Trinidad and Tobago and Portugal, PIOs have become heads of state and government. This year, to mark the return of Mahatma Gandhiji, the greatest Pravasi on the earth, to India in 1915, we are celebrating Pravasi Bharatiya Divas with the PIO members of parliament and mayors from around 23-24 countries. And I warmly welcome you all and thank you for finding time to be here with us. I have direct connection with Parliament, not only being a Parliament member for the last 18-19 years, but also as the presiding chairman of the upper house of India, which is the largest parliamentary democracy in the world. Members of Parliament and mayors, you are from different countries and regions and maybe professing different professions in addition to your political career. But there is one vital spiritual bond that unites us. It is the sense of organic connection to this ancestral land, the deep-rooted sense of Indianness that is civilizational and predated nation states. The essence of Indianness is, in my view, the global vision, the holistic vision and harmonious vision. We have believed the whole world is one family, Vasudhaika Kutumbam. And we believe in Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, the welfare of all human beings, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region. We feel we are all one, and our ancestors are one. We believe that harmony and peace are at the heart of sustainable development. It is this unique worldview we have collectively inherited. It is this worldview that has inspired all Indians over the last 2,000 years. This is the message which is probably more relevant than ever in today's world. The presence of such a large number of elected representatives of Indian origin in the legislature, such a large number of countries from across the world, goes beyond the symbolism of the expanding horizons of the influence of India in the global scheme of things. In my considered view, it is a clear reflection of the strength of the Indian values of inclusivity and also assimilation, nurtured and consolidated over the centuries since ancient times. This land of ours have assimilated in its fold over centuries a large variety of people who came here for a variety of reasons, including for learning, commerce and trade, religious propagation, and even some of them were invaders also. Every such encounter has further enriched the syncretic nature of our traditional values and ethos. The inhabitants of this motherland of India, whose have their roots here, can genuinely be proud of such time-tested values which constitute the principles of unity of mankind. When we talk of Indian nationalism, we refer to the pride that is associated with such inclusive humanism. Friends, I can be frank with you, this country had no history of making invasion against anybody. In spite of the great civilization of thousands of years, we have many civilizations across the globe. Some of them were very famous earlier. Some of them are decaying. But Indian civilization, for years together, for centuries together, is surviving because of the principles, the values, the dharma, and the culture and the heritage which our forefathers have given to us. We have no history of India attacking any country at any time. All people came here, they attacked us sometimes. They made us colonial also. Some of them looted also. Some of them cheated the minds also. But at the same time, India has no history of attacking any country anytime. That is the speciality of this great land, because we believe in human values. We believe in harmony. We believe in all living together. That's the philosophy of this country. That's why we can be proud of this heritage and culture and also of our roots. Some misguided persons here and there may make small statements, and for the sake of news that may become headline. But I can tell you, next day they will become a deadline, because that is not the line of India. That is not the line of India. This country, this land, this people do not tolerate such statements. But we are a democracy of 130 crore people. And some people here and there may talk out of turn. But that should not be seen as the collective will of this nation. The Indian ethos, the culture and heritage which our forefathers have given, आदि काल से, वेद काल से, पुण्य काल से, पुराण काल से जो पूर्वजों ने जिया और दिया, विरासत में उनको मिला, भारतीयता का हो, उसको इंडियननेस का हो, whatever you call it is, that gave us that value. So that being the reality, we should feel proud of our heritage, and at the same time, the equality and the strength of the core values of our motherland, they have to be remembered. While we take pride in our spirit of nationalism, and what is nationalism? Loving the nation. What is a nation again? Is it a geographical boundary? Is the people who are all living here, all the creatures. Even in India, you know that Indian people, we worship even Pasu, we worship Pakshi, we worship nature. That has been the tradition of this great land. So, we should take pride of the spirit of nationalism that unites the people of different social and religious hues cohabiting on our motherland. Persons of Indian origin living in large number of other countries imbibe and uphold the ethos and values of those countries. Because you are living there, that country has given you something. So you must remember, you must also respect the values of those countries and also ethos of those countries where you have decided to settle. This is yet another clear manifestation of the spirit of assimilation, which is the heart of our core human values. The first conference of persons of Indian origin parliamentarians is a certain celebration of the spirit of assimilation, which is the bedrock of Indian values. It is because of the spirit of assimilation that all of you have been able to get accepted in the countries of your adoption and could rise to the level of being lawmakers for the people with whom you choose to live. I heartily congratulate all of you for keeping the flag of Indian values by high all across the globe. The Indian diaspora has contributed enormously to strengthen India's cultural, literary, political, economic bonds across the world. India sees in you an important bridge with countries where you are living. You are also instrumental in building the people-to-people ties also. That's a great contribution which the Indian diaspora is making. Friends, I am happy to know that in recognition of diaspora's contribution to the development of India, to connect young diasporas to their ancestral roots, several flagship programs were taken by the government of India. Foremost among them are No India program, Bharat Ko Janiye, Twitch, and scholarship programs for diaspora children. I also feel happy to share with you that in the face of hostile conditions, Government of India has successfully evacuated from war-torn countries over 90,000 overseas Indian nationals, including foreign nationals from nearly 45 countries under Operation Rahat and then Sankat Mochan. That also speaks of our values. The government under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi and also the External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj, along with her colleagues, have such a nice manner, without causing any problem or friction, was able to evacuate 90,000 people. not an ordinary thing. And not only Indian people, but also people of foreign origin. That also speaks of our values and of our commitment and our core ideology. It is reassured that overseas Indian community, that wherever they may be, if they have any problems, the Indian government is there for them. I congratulate the External Affairs Minister and her team on such rescue operations undertaken successfully by Government of India for the safety of overseas Indian nationals. Friends, there were different forces of history and circumstances that forced and prompted our people to leave India and settle abroad. The time and the world have since changed today. The role and stature of India has been growing and our nation has been scaling up in the ladder of the Committee of Nations. Resurgent India is a power, economic and military, to reckon with. Internationally, India is a land of opportunity today. The entire world is looking towards India. The economy has slowed down worldwide. There may be some temporary things here also because government have gone for massive reforms. The Prime Minister has given a call for, he has given a 3-line mantra. He said, reform, perform and transform. Transforming India is not an ordinary thing. It's a big challenge because it's a huge nation and with the disparities also. So keeping that in mind, the Prime Minister is pushing reforms. And now people of the country, irrespective of political leanings, they have also accepted this. And world also has recognized. I was the Minister for Urban Development till recently. So I had an occasion to meet more than 35 to 40 ambassadors of different countries. They came to me and they said they want to invest. Their companies want to invest in India. In Smart City Mission, in Amrut Mission, in housing sector, in different areas. Because they have confidence now. Earlier, people used to say, sir, it's all red tape. The Prime Minister has converted red tape into red carpet. Whoever want to come here, they can invest. And also, here, the reform process include easy approvals. Transparency. Accountability and transparency is very much visible now. So that's a great strength of India. That's why the entire world and the economy is slowing down. India is steadily moving. The reason is, this is not the statement of the Government of India. I am not going by the Government of India statement. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the ADB, and also Moody's ratings. Moody, not Moody's ratings, Moody's ratings. Everybody is speaking high of India because they see greater opportunities in the coming days in India. That opportunities are very much there. It is not only central government, center and state are working together as a team India. The Prime Minister has given a call saying that we're a federal country, central government and state government and also urban local bodies, panchayats, they must all work as a team. Then only you will succeed because it's a huge nation. You have 3-tier, 4-tier administration also. That's the move now. That's the mood now. So the world is not only recognized but also respecting. That's the reason wherever the Prime Minister of India is going there's a huge response. And a lot of the leaders of the globe, they're all praising India's path. So that be reassured, this path will continue. And then people of India, they are also eager. And now present mood is, I can tell you, people are aspirational. 65% of Indian population is below 35 years. It's a great demographic dividend for this country. And the younger generation today, they are focusing more on development. They want good governance. They want to be partners in the story of the development. And everybody feels that he should also become partner in the growth story of India. That's the mood of the country. As I told you, there may be small aberrations here and there. But at the same time, the general mood of the people is very clear. They want to move on. In such a situation, friends, you have seen the World Bank's, the jump in India's ranking in the World Bank's ease of doing business report. From 142, it has come to 100. In 3 years, the result of this, there are many flagship programs launched by the Government of India. You have a MISCDC program, Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, Green India programs. You have startup, you have stand-up, you have incubation, you have innovation. All new words have been added to the developmental story of our country. That's the mood of the nation. So it's a resurgent India today. I'm very happy. Now, this is happening during our period. Our period means I'm not talking of parties. I'm no more in politics. I'm retired from politics, but not tired from public service. So I'm there as a constitutional body. So the developmental story of India is very fascinating. And you will see wonders happening shortly because the mood of the nation has changed, the work culture has changed, and the perception about India also is fast changing across the globe. There are problems, there will be problems in a democracy always, but the country is capable of addressing those problems. But one thing I must tell you all, this the challenge to the world order is terror. Terror is the biggest menace the world is facing. If you have tension on the border, you cannot have attention towards development. Without peace, progress is not possible. India is a country which believes in peace, which believes in peaceful coexistence. That's why the Prime Minister of India, for his swearing-in ceremony, he called all the SAARC countries. And suddenly he landed in Pakistan one day for a family function of the Pakistani leader at that time. That shows how India is eager to have good relations. That should be reciprocated. And world today, earlier India was paining, India was facing the pain, India was suffering. Others are not able to appreciate it. Today, world over, global, in Europe, in the Western countries, even United Nations and all, these incidents of terror, they are all increasing. So the world must wake up to this reality. The United Nations, the Security Council, they must hasten their process of understanding the reality of the situation and come together to curb this menace. And terror, unfortunately, is being linked with religion by some people. No religion preaches terror, but some people are using religion for terror advancement. We have to enlighten the countries wherever we are living. And we must create a world strong public opinion against terror, because terror is against humanity. Terror has no religion or race or caste or anything. That's being misused by people. I'm happy today I saw the US and Russia back India to bid stop terror funding by one of the neighbors. There's a story about the same. It's good, but nobody should fund any other country for supporting terror activities. I'm not specifically mentioning this country or that country. Everybody understands it. And some people believe they are aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists. But they will also become victims of the same. So, keeping that in mind, all the countries, they should all come together, speak in one voice, raise their hands against terror, and then join together for a collective action, so that the humanity can prosper and progress well. This is what I expect, because I thought it's a proper occasion of the PAO's conference of Indian origin, and that the world must seriously think over about this terror. That's one of the challenges before us. And another, of course, democracy, securing democracy, strengthening democracy, top our agenda. And then welfare of the people, bridging the urban-rural divide, and then the gulf between the rich and poor, that should be further. And also the equal opportunities to women, and also no discrimination on the basis of caste and all. These are some of the challenges different countries are facing. Sometimes even including in India also. We must all come together, and that we should be very clear on this. So these, friends, as I was telling you, there are many and diverse opportunities for contributing to our motherland and being a part of its existing growth story. Be it Make in India, as I earlier outlined some of the schemes of the government of India. We have a story of squirrel in Ramayana, where the whole army of Sugriva was busy making a bridge over the sea to reach Lanka. Then a small squirrel in the field watched the whole scene. It thought it should also do something, contribute towards the construction of the bridge. But there were obstacles. The squirrel was too small even to carry little quantities of sand or stone. So an idea struck to its mind. It went into the sea and had a dip, came back to the sand and rolled over. Again with the sand all over its body. Went back to the sea and had a dip. The squirrel tirelessly continued its work till construction of the bridge was completed. Small contribution. That's a great example before us. So it's an idea and sense of duty that dawned on the squirrel, which became an agent of change. Friends, we want our ideas, your ideas, best practices. We must learn from others' experience. Nothing wrong in it. There is a crude saying in our rural areas, wise men learn from others' experience and fools learn from their own experience. All of us joined here, all wise men. We try to learn from each other's experience. And such conferences, they'll be useful to understand, to identify, and then also find out the solutions to those challenges which are faced at different times. That this will be a very useful experience today. of the persons of Indian origin coming here together and then discussing it. I am confident that your participation in this conference has contributed in strengthening your attachment with your place of domicile and your connect with the land of your ancestors. The themes deliberated upon today held during the course of the day are timely, relevant and inspiring and useful. With this, I take this opportunity once again to congratulate the External Affairs Minister for her initiatives in successful hosting of the first PIO Parliamentary Conference and wish you all a happy, healthy, prosperous and enriching 2018. I also wish you a safe journey back to your respective countries. Subhamaste, Santan, Santu. May your paths are auspicious and may 2018 bring happiness in your life. Let me end with the quotation, a prayer for peace from our ancient scriptures, a prayer that probably can inspire each one of us to make our planet a better place to live in. Quote, may we hear with our ears what is good. May we see with our eyes what is beautiful. May we dedicate our lives to promote goodness with strong bodies and steady minds. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Well, that was the Vice President there, Venkaiah Naidu, delivering the valedictory address at the PIO Parliamentarians Conference in the National Capital, Delhi. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin. Do stay tuned for the big picture coming up on the other side of the short break.